All right, guys, I can convert different forms of linear equations into slope-intercept form. This is going to be CO4. Okay, so if you remember, we've been working with slope-intercept. And if you remember, that's called y equals mx plus b, where b is our y-intercept, m is our slope. Okay? And then y and x stay in our equation. Now we're going to talk about different kinds like standard form and point slope. Okay? And I'm going to go through all this. This is going to take us a minute. And I'm going to try to go slow. Here we go. This says, convert the following from standard form to slope-intercept form. Standard form you're going to notice is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are all numbers. And again, our y and our x stay. Slope-intercept again is y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to try to change it to that. That's my goal. I'm going to draw my line here. So in y equals mx plus b, I have y on a side by itself. And that's what I'm going to try to get by itself. You can see here, y is not on a side by itself. So I'm going to try to get y on a side by itself. So to do that, I want to move this over here. I see that it's a minus 5x, so I'm going to add 5x. Opposites cancel. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Now, these are not like terms, guys. You cannot put a 20 with a 5x because the 5 has the x. So we're going to bring down what we didn't use. And we're going to turn that into an equation. We're one step closer to having y by itself. This says 2 times y, so now we're going to divide by 2. I'm going to leave this an improper fraction because it can't be simplified. But negative 20 divided by 2 can be simplified to negative 10. Now, as you can see, I have that in slope-intercept form. Y equals m x plus b. So I've got it. All right, we're going to try the same thing with b. This is a positive x, so I'm going to subtract x to get rid of it. All right, I cannot combine these again because this is an x. This is not. So I just create it into an equation. This says negative 3 times y. So I'm going to divide by negative 3. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Now, you have to remember, in front of this x, there's an invisible 1 that we never have to write. So here I have y equals a negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. 9 divided by negative 3 equals negative 3. And again, I'm in y equals mx plus b form. All right. We're going to pause the video here. I want you guys to try this one. All right? You're going to try converting this guy into y equals mx plus b. All right, go ahead and pause the video here. Okay, here we go. This is a positive 4x, so I'm going to minus 4x minus 4x. Opposites cancel. Bring down what you didn't use, everything you didn't use. Again, those are not like terms. Now, final step, this is negative 2 times y. I'm going to divide to get rid of it. So I have y equals a negative divided by a negative gives you a positive. A positive divided by a negative gives you a negative. I want you to take a minute, and if there's something you're not understanding right now, as I am gone today, I would like you to write down any questions you don't understand right now with this. So take a minute and do that. Okay. The next type of equation we have to talk about is something called point-slope form. Point-slope is a little different. Okay, so back on the original, let me see, where was I? Back on the original here, on the first page, this is my point-slope. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. It sounds a bit confusing, but it's not. So let me show you what this looks like. Okay, I'm not going to look at A for right now because B, I think, represents it better. So y minus or plus y1 equals negative 3, there's your m, x minus x1. So this is your x1, this is your y1. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be turning these into, again, slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, here we go. First, you can see here I have to distribute. If you don't like to work with fractions, put that sucker as a decimal. Multiplying by a half is the same as dividing by 2. I'm now going to look for like terms. This is a 0.5x. I don't see any other x's. This is a negative 2. This is a positive 1. I know that those are both constants, so I can put those together. So I have y equals 0.5x, and negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Again, the entire goal through this whole presentation, guys, is we want to get to y equals mx plus b. Okay, that is our goal on all aspects of it. Here we go. Same thing over here. We're going to do it again. First thing I see, distributive property. So I have y plus 4 equals negative 3. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 2. And a negative times a negative is a positive 6. Now, I want to get y by itself. The only thing stopping me is this little 4 here. Well, we need to get rid of that 4. I can look ahead of that 4 and see that it's plus 4. So I'm going to subtract 4 to get rid of it. Y equals negative 3x, and 6 minus 4 is 2. As long as we're getting down to that y equals mx plus b, guys, that's our whole point. All right. What I want you to do right now is we're going to pause the video, and you guys are going to do this one. Remember to start with distributing. So go ahead and pause the video here and get that into y equals mx plus b. Okay. Hopefully we have this done. Again, if you don't want to work with fractions, put it as 0.5. X multiplying by a half is the same as dividing by 2. So after we do that distributive property, the only thing we got to get rid of is this little guy right here. He needs to go away. So it's a minus 3. I'm going to add 3 to get rid of it. Opposites cancel. I'm left with y equals 0.5x plus 7. Okay. Okay, just a little bit of vocabulary here. Equivalent. Equivalent means equal. Equations that represent the same line. They're equivalent. They mean equal. Okay? So converting equations to slope-intercept form. We've been doing this. We've been doing the distributive property, combining like terms, and getting y by itself. Okay, this is just a recap of what we've done so far today. This is called standard form. You will learn a lot more about this in algebra. This is your a, x plus b, y equals c, where a, b, and c are all numbers. So let's take this guy, and they're asking us to turn it into slope-intercept. We're getting y by itself. So first I got to get rid of this 4x. I can see that it's a positive 4x. So I'm going to minus 4x minus 4x. Oh, and I wrote c. Why didn't you guys yell at me? 12. Okay. Bring down this. These are not like terms. You cannot put them together. So negative 4x plus 12. I want you to pause the video here and see if you can get y by itself now. Okay, let's keep rolling. Let's see if you could get y by itself. Divide by 3, because it was 3 times y. Divide by 3. Y equals, just leave this an improper fraction. 12 divided by 3 is 4. I'm now in y equals mx plus b form, also known as slope-intercept form. Okay, now let's look at this guy. This, again, is point slope form. We're trying to get it to y equals mx plus b. First thing I see is distributive property. I want you guys to pause the video here and try to get this into y equals mx plus b. Okay, I hope you've done that. Y equals 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. 1/2 times -4 is -2 plus 3. So this is what we were talking about earlier, combining like terms. Y equals 1/2 x plus 1. And I'm already in slope-intercept form. I'm done. I know this is a lot, guys, and I am going to be here tomorrow morning, so I will help you with all this. I'm going to push back the checkup to next week, and we are going to practice more of this tomorrow. What I've done is, if there's extra time, I have wrote 2 of each problem on the board, and I would like you to try them, and then we can talk about whatever questions you have when I return tomorrow.